Hi friends, this is Yulia and today we're talking about opening bank accounts for international students in Canada. First of all, thanks to all of you who asked the questions. It was really helpful and I'm happy to answer your questions. Second of all, if you're not subscribed to this channel and missed the post about the questions, consider subscribing. It's absolutely free and you can unsubscribe at any time. There are 5 major banks in Canada: RBC, TD Bank, CIBC, BMO, and Scotiabank. There are also online banks, but we're not gonna talk about those in this video. In Canada, we also have 3 types of bank accounts. Basically, you have checking account, you have savings account, and you have a credit card. As for checking account, it is basically an account and a debit card where you just basically put money and then you use the card to pay for the things. As for the savings account, it's an account where you can save money, not use them, not spend them, but be careful because the interest rates on savings are literally 0.00. So don't expect it to be like 5% a year or like, I don't even know. It's gonna be tiny. Like if you make $10 out of this a year, good. As for the credit cards, we have 2 types of credit cards. First one is a secured Visa. Basically, you come to a bank and say, I need a 1,000 credit card. They will say, please give me this 1,000 so we can lock it, freeze it, and then that's gonna be your credit card. Since you are a newcomer, you don't have any history, you don't have any like credit score, nothing. They can offer you a secured Visa. Once you have a more permanent status, you can apply for regular credit cards, meaning you don't need to give any money to the bank so they can like use it as a credit card. Don't forget that when you close this secured Visa credit card, the money that were frozen, they will go back to your bank account so you can use this money. I know at some point, like 7 years ago, Scotiabank was given regular credit cards to students, but I don't think that's the case anymore. If you guys know any banks that will give you a credit card without the secured deposit, let us know in the comments. How do you actually open a bank account? What documents do you need? First of all, you will need your passport, of course, a piece of ID. Second of all, you will need a proof of your status in Canada. Many of you ask me if you can open a bank account from abroad. Well, unfortunately, no, because banks in Canada will ask you to give them the proof, meaning your study permit. And your study permit will be printed at the airport. So I know you're trying to plan in advance and do things from your home country, but unfortunately opening a bank account is not the case. But also you will need your social insurance number, and that one you can only get while in Canada. So here's another reason why you can't open a bank account from abroad. You will also need to bring a proof of address. It can be a utility bill, it can be your apartment contract, phone bill, something that has your name and address on it. But also you can bring some money if you want to deposit it right away. You can be like, okay, I open a bank account, here's the money, please put it into my bank account. If you need to open a checking, a saving bank account, if you need to get a debit card, you can just walk into a branch. If you're planning to get a credit card, then you will need to make an appointment with a bank person, so the next time you come, they'll have all the documents ready, they'll do all the checks, stuff like that. In most of the banks you can apply for credit cards online, but since you just came to Canada, you have no credit score, no nothing, like literally they know nothing about you, you will need to go physically to a branch. And by the way, it's completely free to open a bank account, but there are gonna be some monthly fees associated with your account. As for the monthly and annual fees, if you are an international student in Canada, well, congrats! You will have a free account as long as you're studying in Canada. That's why you'll need to bring a proof of your status, aka study permit or your student ID, so the bank knows that you're a student. You don't pay any monthly fees. If you're not a student, well, the monthly fees start at $3-4 a month, depending on the bank, depending on your account. Some banks will waive your fees if, let's say, you have a certain amount on your account, let's say 5,000. If you have this 5,000 always on your account, then the fee is gonna be eliminated. So check the banks, check the plans, talk to advisors, so this way they'll give you the best account that will suit your needs. Many of you asked me about credit cards, credit scores, can you live without debt in Canada? So here's the thing, credit cards, they're not about the debt. It's about optimizing your expenses. Say you wanna get a car and you have 15K in cash. Why would you spend 15K in cash if you can literally get a 0% lease and then invest the rest of the money into something else. While you're paying your loan, your lease, those money that were invested, they'll be working for you. So yes, you can live debt-free, but then if you want to get an apartment, a house, the average price is like $500,000 or something. You know how long you'll be working to save all that money in cash? A lot. And also it doesn't make any sense. But I think I'll make a whole separate video about debt, living in debt, and so on. As for the credit score, you will need it to get better rates when you're planning to buy an apartment, house, cars, whatsoever. I have a whole separate video about credit scores, so go watch it after this one. And here's the question for you. If you are already in Canada, which bank are you using and why? Let's share in the comments and help each other out. Canadian banks offer a whole bunch of different benefits, from air miles to movie tickets to cashback, you name it. While some banks offer free cinema tickets, others will give you, for example, pre-sale to different events. I know that RBC has special seats, special pre-sales for the events. For example, for RBC Blues Fest, they will give a certain number of tickets or like some kind of a discount to RBC clients. So here you will need to think, what do you need more? Events, tickets, cashback, something else. One thing that impressed me a lot was that Canadian banks have so many promos, it's just crazy. So basically when I switched from my first bank to my second bank, they were like, you switch to our bank, we give you a free TV. And I'm like, what? TV? For switching the bank? They're like, yes. So I moved to Montreal, switched banks, got a free TV. Profit. There are always a whole bunch of promotions going on. iPads, phones, TVs, different electronics, but then you will see those TVs on Kijiji, but it's a whole different story. Another popular question was, can I get a mortgage as an international student? The thing is, you're new to the country. You have no history, no credit score, no nothing. Unfortunately or fortunately, you'll need to spend some time in Canada, build your credit score, and then you can apply for mortgage. But also, a requirement for a mortgage in Canada is income. Since you're coming to Canada to study, you have no income, and your part-time Tim Hortons job will not make enough so you can get a mortgage, especially if you're planning to live in cities like Toronto, Vancouver, where real estate literally costs an arm and a leg. I mean, I'm sorry, but no mortgage for you guys. Same goes with the loans. Can I get a mortgage, a loan as an international student? Well, no income means no mortgages and no loans. I'm sorry, my friends. I know many of you are coming to Canada not only to study, but also to work and support their families. So a good thing is you can transfer money from Canadian banks to your countries, but the fees are high and the processing times, they might be longer too. I'd suggest you open a Wise account. This is basically an online bank, but you can open up to 20 different accounts with different currencies and send money literally like instantly. It's much faster, cheaper, easier. You can do everything from your phone, but bear in mind that this is an online bank. There will be no branches if something happened, but I feel like their support works perfectly. If you guys are interested, I'll leave the link in the description box down below. Also, everything that I mentioned is gonna be there, so go take a look after. So what can you do with your bank app? First of all, you can transfer money to your friends, to whoever you want to transfer money to. Second of all, you can pay your bills and you can set auto pay. So let's say you know your Hydra bill comes in first of every month. You can set an auto payment on this second day of the month. You can also manage your transactions. You can increase limits, you can decrease limits. Because, for example, I think when I got my first student card, the transaction limit was like $500. I was like, okay, so I wanted to buy a ticket to Europe. I couldn't because the limit was like super low. So I went to the app, I increased all the limits, all good. You can also apply for mortgages, credit cards, loans, but when you have income, and you can also invest. So basically, there's a lot of things that you can do in your bank account. And many of you asked me about the best account, the best bank for international students. Well, here's the thing. If you are an international student coming to Canada, then any bank will open you an account for free, which is already awesome. As for the best bank, what's best for me is not best for you. For example, you like movies and I don't. I like traveling and you don't. So for you, it will make more sense to get a SIM card to get points for free movie tickets. For me, it will make more sense to get Air Miles card, so I can collect those miles and then get tickets or whatsoever. I had great experience with TD Bank and RBC. I also had a Tangerine account, even though it's an online bank. Some people say the customer service is just terrible. I've never had a single problem. Literally all my problems were solved over the phone. But again, I think it depends on the call center representative, on the bank itself. So be aware that online banks will not have physical branches. So in case something major happens, well, you can't just go there and be like, solve my problem. No, you can't. You'll need to call and wait and wait. So I would say start with a physical bank when you come to Canada, and then if you're feeling okay, you can get an online bank or whatsoever. And this is it for today. I hope the video was helpful. Don't forget to like, comment and share with your friends, and I'll see you next week. Bye!